Hi guys, and welcome to my Tray 3 update. For starters, I want to say a few things about stuff from my day 2 update till I had my appointment to get my attachments and things. The first thing is that the first tray really was no big deal. I had to deal with some of the mouth issues and there was a little bit of tenderness, but not much. By the end of that 2-week period, I'm like, oh, if this is all there is, no problem, I got it. Well, when I put in my second tray was very tight, so much tighter than my first tray had been when they very first put it in. I instantly was kind of like, oh my gosh, is this how it's supposed to be? Well, I mean, it fit, it went on, it was really like very tight and snug and felt like it was bear hugging my teeth. And over the next 24 hours, that feeling kind of diminished. My teeth did hurt at that point, probably more than they had the first tray. I don't know how much the first tray really did. It had to have done something because my teeth ached a little bit, but I don't think it was very dramatic at all. I'm thinking that was kind of like an ease me into it sort of tray. The second tray was really where I started to feel kind of achiness and stuff happen. It still wasn't that bad, nothing I would consider severe, just irritation, a couple of ibuprofen for a couple days, and by day 3 it was really nothing. I don't think I noticed much of anything at that point. Everything that I dealt with past that point really was just dealing with the things being in my mouth and had nothing to do with like achiness or anything. I did end up having to do the same thing where I filed that second tray and had to use some Orajel here and there from places that it rubbed and cut, and that part's no fun. I really dislike that part. The other thing that happened was, simply put, I am so sick of brushing. Like, I can't stand it. I thought I was a diligent brusher before. I brushed in the morning, I brushed at night, I even usually brushed after lunch. So I took care of my teeth. I'm not somebody that like blew off brushing. I am so sick of brushing. It ends up being 5 times of brushing per day minimum usually, and I'm like, I'm so over it. Whatever, I'm a big girl. One of the things that happened was that we went to a local water park and we actually ended up having lunch there, so I had to brush my teeth while we were there. I remember having this thought in the bathroom of teenage me, and I thought, I just know when I was a teenager, if I'd have had to stand there and brush my teeth, that I would have probably been pretty embarrassed to stand there and do it. I may still have done it, don't get me wrong, but I just remember I don't know if I would have been okay standing there brushing my teeth, how comfortable I would have been. And I had this very distinct thought when I was standing in there, like, as much money as I'm paying for these teeth, I am standing here and brushing my teeth, and I don't care who is looking at me funny. The reality is, while a couple people might look at you kind of weird, nobody says anything. So, you know, just ignore them. They'll go about their day, and, you know, they probably won't even think about it later. There was a person brushing their teeth. I think sometimes those initial looks are like, oh, why is she, oh, and then like, I'm sure most of them are like, oh, she's just 8. Of course she's brushing her teeth. I wish I would brush my teeth. Okay, now up to my orthodontist appointment. A few days ago, I actually went in to have my attachments put on, and I got bands at that time, and I am in tray 3 now. I'll show some close-ups of that in a little bit, but I wanted to talk about that for a few minutes first. First of all, the attachments are no big deal. They didn't hurt at all or anything like that. What they did was they put in a cheek extractor. That's not a good thing. They did not extract my cheeks. They put in a cheek retractor to hold open my mouth and to keep my tongue back so that they could get to the teeth and not have my lips going all over it, because the surface of the teeth has to end up being really dry for everything to adhere. So then they put this cleaning stuff on your teeth. The cleaning stuff is kind of bitter. It tastes like vinegar. She used that word. I think that was a very adequate word to describe what it kind of tasted like as it was dripping into my mouth. Honestly, like, very little got in there, but since it is so bitter, you do taste it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. A lot of people are really grossed out by it. I don't mind vinegar all that much, so yeah. After they clean your teeth, they then rinse your teeth out and they dry your mouth out really good, because like I said, it has to be dry for the stuff to adhere. Then they put this bonding stuff on it. That stuff kind of smelled like super glue to me. Then after the bonding stuff was put on there, they put in these trays that had little stuff filled into them, into the bubbles where they're supposed to go on your teeth. And she just pushed those in and then used the light to dry each one and make it adhere. There was no pain. She did kind of push on it some. Now we did have a problem where she did the bottom teeth just fine, everything was great, but when she did the top teeth, she pulled the tray off, nothing had stuck. The tray came right off, there was no attachments, like all of them, none of them had adhered. So she had to do the whole process again. She actually ended up calling in another lady. I think the lady who did my attachments was kind of new to that place. And I don't know how many times she'd done it, but I kind of got the sense in talking to her that she was kind of new there. So I think calling in the other lady was just calling in somebody who had a little more experience with it. But I don't know that that other lady did anything really different. The suggestion was maybe that she had waited just a little too long and that the glue on my teeth had actually dried before she put the trays in. That was the only thing that we could speculate. So at that point then they put in my third trays, and they were even tighter than the second one. The top wasn't so bad. It was just pressure and everything. It's my bottom, and I know it has somewhat to do with these teeth right here, these really crooked ones, because it is very tight to get over that. I'm hoping that as we progress and those teeth get spread out, that it'll get a little bit easier like the top is to put in, because the top really, it's tight those first day or two, but it's really not bad to get on and off. The bottom is just, I hate it. I hate when I have to eat and I have to slowly pull it all off because it takes a while. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about attachments on the front and things like that. I was fortunate that I don't have any front attachments. I have a few on the sides on the top and a few on the sides on the bottom. There's all in all, I think there's 11 there. I'd have to count them, but it's somewhere around 11, but they're all kind of on the sides. You can see them when I smile if you know what you're looking for, but I mean, they're not here, which is nice. The other thing that happened at that appointment was that I got the rubber bands. Something weird happened with that, and I think it does go back to that girl being slightly new, because the last time I had an appointment, they said that they would be doing the attachments and the rubber bands. At this appointment, they actually mentioned shaping too. I thought maybe they would be doing some of the IPR. They didn't do any of that. So I don't know if I'm right on that, but I actually asked about the bands. And at that point, when the orthodontist came in, he said, yeah, let's go ahead and start the bands today. So I don't know if he would have done that anyway, or if he just did it because I asked, but they went ahead and did it at this point. I'm fine with that because the sooner it gets done, the better. However, those rubber bands, man. Okay, so on the first couple trays, there was no marks or indentations or bubbles or anything. Now that we've started tray 3, they have little bubbles in them for the attachments. Again, I'll show those as part of the close-up deal. But they also have these little hooks that are on the canine and then back here on the molar on the bottom. And the rubber band hooks through those. She hooked on the one in my mouth the very first day. Like, she had me lay back and she put the one in, and it hooked on. I could not get the second one in for my life. It just was not going to happen. And so I ended up taking it out and hooking them on that way, and that worked. And I have done it that way ever since, because every time I've tried to put it in there with them on, I can't get it hooked. I can get the top hooked, but I can't get the bottom hooked, because I think it's because it's so far back, but it's also that they're so tight to my teeth that I don't have a way to get it under there. It's just pushed up against my teeth. That being said, the problem I have is that when they're in, they're actually pulling these canine parts out of the Invisalign, and it's pulling it into my gums. And right here feels like somebody has punched me in the face every time I touch it. When I have to do makeup and I touch it with a makeup sponge, it hurts. It's to the point where I like want to take them out to do my makeup, just because I don't want to push against that. And I don't know how to stop that. I don't know if that'll improve as time goes on, as things move. I mean, I figure it's probably stretched as much as it's gonna be right now, so maybe as the jaw moves forward, it won't be as tense, so it won't pull as much. That has been probably the most irritating thing so far in this process, is having that rub against there, and I'm not quite sure how to fix it at this point. I don't know if there's something I can do to make it better, but I hate it. Yeah, that has been more irritating than any pain I've experienced throughout this process so far. All right, I want to show you my teeth. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the attachments. They actually kind of feel like little hard pieces on my teeth. Several times when I've been eating, I've like had the sensation that something's stuck there, and I go to move it, and it actually is just the attachment there, and I'm like, ugh, it's not food, it's a part of my tooth now. There it is. And I've done it a bunch of times. Since the aligners are on there most of the time, I don't even think about them. But when I am eating, I do notice it. It's like these little pieces sticking out from my tooth. They kind of bump into my cheek. Not really a big deal. The big deal for me has been that I don't know what really made this happen, but I think it's this one attachment here. The day I got the attachments, I noticed that all of a sudden when I'm eating, I'm biting myself and my cheek on this side. It's the only place that it happens. And I think it's this one attachment. I think it's sticking out so far that it's pushing my cheek in such a way that my top teeth are biting down onto it. It hurts. The first day it happened, the first meal that happened at, I was like getting really angry about it. Like, I mean, I'm not acting ridiculous or anything, but I'm sitting there at the table like I didn't want to eat because it was so irritating, because I'd carefully be chewing and then all of a sudden I would bite down again. And I was like, "Urgh." But you know, it's, as a few days have passed now, I've gotten a little more used to it and I'm more cautious about it. I still am biting my cheek though here and there. I imagine that will go away as time moves forward and I get a little more used to that being the way my mouth is and the way things shift and things like that. But wow, it's no fun to sit at a meal and trying to enjoy a meal, especially with these whole things with Invisalign. I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but eating is such kind of a process at this point because of dealing with this, that adding in biting my own cheek is just not any fun. Like, it's ridiculous. I want to sit down and enjoy my meal, and to sit there and just bite my cheeks like crazy, whatever. It was not fun. Again, big girl panties. I've got them on. I'm wearing them. I'm doing the teeth. I'm sucking it up. It's going to be fine. They're going to be straight and pretty. All's well that ends well. But that stinks. Still, all in all, I would say most of them are just minor irritations. Not really a big deal. You're going through something. Your teeth are changing. That's bound to cause some problems. So I would never say to somebody, you know, this is so bad that you shouldn't get it, or you know, it's not worth it or anything else like that. You deal with it, you go on, and nothing is so bad. None of it's ruined my day. It's just been minor irritations here and there. So anyway, I'm going to come in and do a close-up here, and you can see my teeth. I will show you with the liners in where the attachments are, and then I'll take them out and I can show you without the attachments and show you what that looks like. All right, so here are with the Invisalign in and the bands in here. These are the rubber bands. Okay, blurry's not good. That's not gonna work. Quit being blurry. Okay, so up here is where the band attaches, and then it attaches way back to there on both sides, like that. And this is what I'm talking about here. This little tray has a notch. I'll show you that close up when I take them out, but that has a little notch in it, and that is getting pulled out into my gum. And I'm not quite sure how to make that better. And here they are. There are the attachments right there. Let's see. They look like little bubbles. There's one there. So that's with them in. Okay, so now I'll take them out and show you without them in my mouth. Okay, just so I can show you, here's my top tray. If I turn it to the side here, you can see this little hook spot right here. This is where the rubber band goes into. There it is. There's the little hook spot right there. That's good. That's where the rubber band goes into. And then this is the bottom one, and it goes right there. You can see that this one's probably focused the best right here. That little hook right there is where the rubber band hooks into. And so this little flap on it gets pulled out slightly by the rubber band, and I think that is what is digging into me on the top. All right, here we are. This is the teeth without the Invisalign in. At this point, please remember we're only on tray 3, so not much has changed at this point. This is the attachments. Right there. There's one right there. The top teeth aren't as easy to see. Right there and right there. There's one here, here. I think there's one further back. Yeah, that's. Oh, it's there, there, and there. And then here. I mean, like, I'm sitting close up to here, and I even had to just feel for where the ones were at, because I don't feel like they're all that noticeable. The bottom ones kind of are. I still don't think most people would look at your teeth and notice that you have those things on there. Maybe if they were somebody that knew you really well. I would hope that people that knew you really well wouldn't be judging you that harshly. This is weird talking this close to a camera. I feel like Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay, not much has changed, but whatever little changes there are, here you go. I should show you that this is actually my overbite. This is why I have the rubber bands. I often hold my teeth like this when I'm showing the camera, but they actually sit if I bite down like that. How much do you guys love being this close to my teeth? It's beautiful. More whitening is needed. Yes. All right, so there you go. I will probably be back somewhere 4 to 6 weeks. I actually don't have another appointment until November. It was like 4 months out, so it will be a while before I actually see the orthodontist again, provided that nothing goes wrong, like the attachments don't come off or anything like that. As long as everything's going great, I don't have to go back for a while. But I will still probably do an update in about 4 to 6 weeks to show kind of a progress and how my teeth are doing and any sort of things that have cropped up and how the changing of the trays has gone. I have all the way up to, I think it's tray 12, and I looked at the last one that I have, tray 12, and I can see that this is actually quite a bit less crowded. So I'm kind of excited about that, you know, that's only a few months down the line that's all taken care of. It still looks like the one back tooth is kind of crooked on that tray, but just to see that it's going to be progressed quite a bit at that point is neat to see. Thank you for joining me. I'd love it if you'd click that like button, and please subscribe if you'd like to see the updates in the future. I plan on doing these, you know, monthly to bi-monthly, depending on how things are going. I'm very excited to see the long run, the final end process of this and how it compares. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Any suggestions, any ideas, or any questions that you might have, I'll do my best to answer them. If you're going through this process too, let me know and I'll subscribe to your channel, and maybe we can help each other out and we can encourage each other as we go through this trip, because it's going to be a while. I am very excited about it, but also I know that it's just in it for the long haul, and some of it gets old at times. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day.